Hi, welcome to the Pocket Page book, which we're up to page 9 for this pocket book. So this is available as a pattern through my website GourmetQuilter.com, and if you're already receiving the pattern, you're going to have a pattern that you can print out that looks something like this. What we're making this time for our page 9 is another zippered pouch, and it's very similar in looks to the one that we've done before, but it's put together in a different way so that you just see a different way of inserting a zipper in there. So on the pattern there's all the cutting instructions for all the pieces that you need for this particular pocket page. We've got a background page piece, we've got some front pocket pieces, and we've got the top pocket pieces, and we have a zipper. So a zipper foot is also something you might be pleased to have this time. So what I've done is gone ahead and cut everything out, and I've just made a little bit of a start. So on this top part here, so on this piece here, which in this case is going to be yellow, we're actually just going to stitch a little seam and cutting out a whole segment there, that particular shape. So that the pattern piece shows you all this, and so what I've done is actually trace the line. So I've used my trusty light box, I can see through with the light shining through, and I've traced my stitching line onto my fabric. And I've actually gone ahead and stitched it so that I can then show you the next stage. So rather than trying to cut everything out like that, it's just as easy to trace it straight onto the fabric and then stitch it on the stitching line. And then we just want about 1/4 inch seam allowance, so we want to trim away this area, and I found it was just as easy to cut with my scissors approximately 1/4 inch away from that stitching in that little area that we just need to remove. That is the area where the zipper is going to live. So that's approximately 1/4 inch. We don't need that piece anymore. And then what we do need to do is clip into these little corners. So don't cut your stitching, but clip in fairly close so that it can pull apart at the corner, because it needs to go right around at the corner when we turn it out the right way. So as close as you reasonably can in there. And then we need to press that so that we can pop the zipper behind it. So when I press it, it's just a little bit fiddly going around a corner like that, but it's okay. All we need to do is initially press it over along the long part of that stitching line. And then before we actually do the corners, I'm going to suggest that you just press that over on the short little lengths as well. So not the actual corner, but just so that we get it pulled out nice and straight when we want to turn it out the right way very shortly. So I'm just pressing the seam the one way. So now we can flick that over and we can bring those little bits around, and because we've pressed that seam initially, we should be able to get a nice sharp fold at the seam line. It all looks a little bit tight and complicated and wiggly at the moment, but it will get better. So as much as you're able to get that seam line so that the back fabric isn't showing through to the front, and then all the way along and also down at this corner here, trying to keep things as sharp and straight as you can. When you press things, sometimes you can stretch things out of shape by just kind of pulling them a little bit haphazardly as you iron. It's a really good idea, particularly with fiddly little things like this, to just keep an eye on keeping things nice and straight, and then just flip it over and press from the other side too. And so by now we've got this nice sort of sharp finished off cut out edge. So what we're going to do is lay our zipper behind. Now if you remember when we did the zipper last time, the zipper is way too long again. We needed to have the zipper pull within the zipper usable area, which we need to do again. So I'm just going to stitch across the zipper with it open. It doesn't really matter, because we've got so much length here, it doesn't really matter where that is as long as it's sort of towards one end. And it's only just a holding stitch that I'm putting in there so that we can have the zipper open when we're putting it in, because what we need to do is pop the zipper in. So the zipper, that edge is going to line up with the lower edge of the cutout piece, and it will just determine the length because of the cutout, as long as we keep things fairly straight and level. And we just, if you stitch that over fairly close to where we've done a rough stitch across, it should stay together quite nicely, and we should be just stitching again similar distance as we've done before, approximately 1/8 of an inch, I think it is, away, we have a 1/2 inch finished gap. By the time we've sewn the next piece on here, the zipper will be sitting within a 1/2 inch opening. So I'm going to pop my zipper foot on because I think it's easier, and I'll come back and show you how to do the stitching. So I've got the zipper foot on. Remember, if you're using the zipper foot something like this, you have to move your needle across so that it doesn't hit the foot. It's not a good idea to hit the foot. I'm just going to go back over that stitching, and I'll come back again just to make sure everything's held really securely. So I'm going to do that at both ends. But I haven't got to the other end yet. I have to get this one done first. So coming back over again, and then just stopping so that when we end up stitching, we're approximately 1/8 of an inch away from this folded edge here. And stitching nicely onto the zipper so that there's a nice gap between the teeth and the fabric. And so I'm just going to come along a little way here. And that zipper the zipper pull is just going to get in their way. So I'm leaving my needle down and lifting the foot, and then I can take the zipper pull now that I've come a little distance away from the end, right up to the end, so that it's sitting out of my way, and I can continue on along the zipper now without having that zipper pull in my way at all. And so it's really just coming all the way along till we run out of fabric, turning the corner and back over the zipper. And again, I'll do the extra line of sewing over the zipper just to make sure everything is held really securely, because that is the beginning and the end of the zipper. So you could just reverse up, but I'm just going to turn it around and go back. And so there, we have already inserted our zipper into our pocket. So that's all looking pretty good. So now we can trim off the ends of the zipper because we've got that securely seated in there. So I'm just going to trim that with a little bit left over there, and the same at this end. And then we're ready to put the rest of the pocket together now. So what we need to do now is have our other two pieces, the larger two pieces, and we're going to place them right sides together, but we're going to place this inside. So this is the right side facing up of the blue here. Everything should be about the right size still. And we're going to put that in, and then we need to find the right side of this one so that the blues are right sides together, including a zipper piece. So then we're going to stitch that in there using, again, I'm going to leave the zipper foot on, and same thing with this zipper pull, it might get in the way of our stitching, so pull it along a little bit and we'll do some sewing, and then we'll stop and lift the foot and bring the pull back up again so that it doesn't get in the way of our stitching, because if we're trying to wiggle past it, we'll get a wiggly stitch, from which wiggly is not so good. So I've still got the zipper foot on my machine, but we do need to gauge that we're going to do about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance just here. I didn't want to change feet because I don't want to hit the zipper. So the zipper foot is really good. So just keep your edges lined up nicely. Keep the zipper edge should be the same as the fabric edge there. Maybe come approximately halfway along. Then leave that foot down in the fabric and come between the two pieces of this, and we'll just pull that zipper pull out of our way. It does of course depend which way you put the zipper in. It might be the other way around. The same thing would apply. You still want that zipper foot pull out of the way. And then just continue on to the end of the seam. And there between those pieces of fabric we have a zipper, so everything's nice and tidy on the front, the back, everywhere, and we can just press that now So if you press, and just, if you have the iron sitting on the zipper part and just pull gently on this piece, you should get a nice press away from the zipper, and I'll move the zipper pull again in a minute and do the same thing over that segment. So I do it on the back and the front. Then move your zipper pull out of the way so that you can do the same thing up that end, so that you get a nice press down there. We don't need to top stitch that unless you want to. I'm not going to. I'm very happy with my pocket looking like that on this occasion. And so all it now needs is putting to its background piece of fabric, and we know how to do that. We line up all those raw edges and do a basting stitch all the way round, and we'll end up with a pocket piece something like this with a zipper in it. So that's it for pocket page number 9. I'll see you again with pocket page number 10.